Hello friends and welcome to the trivia series. So the trivia series is all about a quick rundown of some interesting news items. So this will cover pretty much everything from defense, art, history, culture, politics, etc., etc. Pretty much whatever takes my fancy and which will interest you as well. What I will do in this series is this will be kind of short and sweet. I will try and resist the temptation to go into too much detail. So today's episode is about Raghuji Bhosale's sword, and this has been the news in the last few days. So I'll just kind of go through it, just give a quick overview. So before we go ahead, as usual, we'll start off with Saraswati Vandana. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. So let's go on to the news item. Okay, so this is a news snippet from the Times of India from the 30th April, the online edition, and it says that the government of Maharashtra paid 47 lakh rupees or roughly 42,000 British pounds to buy the sword at Sotheby's auction in the UK, and it gives a few details on who Raghuji Bhosale was, etc., etc. And from the news story, it also looks like Mudhoji Bhosale, who's a descendant of Raghuji Bhosale, and part of the erstwhile rulers of Nagpur, informed Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, the present Chief Minister of Maharashtra, about this auction taking place. And Mudhoji himself had bid up to 35 lakhs, but I think that was pretty much his high limit. And the government of Maharashtra stepped in and placed a bid of 47 lakhs and got the sword. So this is a tweet by Devendra Fadnavis, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, who took the initiative to bring the sword back to India. And I won't bore you with the whole Marathi translation, but in brief it says that we are happy to bring back a priceless artifact of the Maratha Empire, and it gives a few details of what the sword is and a paragraph on Raghuji Bhosale. And I would like to say kudos to Chief Minister Fadnavis for not letting this go back into another European or American collection, actually taking the trouble to bring it back. So now we'll see who was Raghuji Bhosale. So obviously quite a few of you might have this question, who was Raghuji Bhosale? So just putting it very briefly, again my knowledge is also very shallow. So he was a key Maratha commander in the mid part of the 18th century. So the 18th century was pretty much the Maratha century from roughly 1707, 1710, when Aurangzeb died, till 1800. And he was the ruler of Nagpur state from 1739 to 1755 of the Common Era. Now, the Bhosales of Nagpur were pretty much independent, though they were part of the Maratha Confederacy, and at times, from my very little reading of Maratha history, they came into conflict with the Peshwas of Pune as well. He was a brilliant military commander, and which was why he was given the title of Sena Dhurandhar, Sarkar Sena Sahib Suba, which very loosely translated means Master Commander of Military Affairs and Provinces. And he expanded the Maratha domains into Orissa, Bengal, which was ruled by Nawabs, and into Tamil Nadu as well. So overall, quite a brilliant commander. And we'll see his sword. So this is image I got from the Sotheby's auction site. They've got quite a few nice images. I'll put the link in at the bottom. This I believe is I'm not sure if it's a khanda. Khanda is typically a very sharp, kind of armor cutting sword. But this is known as a Firang style because this is a very typical European single-edged blade. And this might have been manufactured by European manufacturers. So Germans were quite famous for for the blade manufacture, especially the state of Hesse in Germany, and or maybe it was copied by master swordsmiths in India, in Maharashtra. The hilt and the pommel, as you can see, are gold plated, and in Marathi this is known as the mut of the talwar. And there's another special thing on the spine of the sword. So this shows a pic of the spine of sword, and on there's the Devanagari inscription which says Shrimant Raghuji Bhosale Sena Sahib Suba, and after that it says Firang, and I can't read the text after that. So I believe it's the sign of the maker of the sword. Now, the big question is, how did this end up in a UK auction house in 2025? So some things to know is, after the British defeated any Indian king or empire or kingdom, the first thing they did was to loot the treasury and do a general, the entire city was given up to looting, so raping, looting, all that kind of stuff. And after the British defeated the Nagpur Bhosales in 1817, so 1817 was the downfall of whatever was left of the Maratha Empire. Now, as per the British glorious tradition, they looted the treasury of the Bhosales and also set their palace on fire in Nagpur. They did the same thing to the Shaniwar Wada in Pune. So it was set on fire and people are prohibited from actually trying to put out the fire, which is why, those palaces are in complete ruins. In Shaniwar Wada, the only thing standing is the walls, and everything inside is just kind of the foundations. So what happens in the UK is, this would have been taken as private loot to the UK, and the descendants of the looters obviously need money, and whenever they need money, off this goes to the auction house. Sometimes it changes hands, within different families, but the reason to go to the auction house, obviously people need money. So the scale and quantity of loot from India stashed away in private and public collections is worth billions. It's staggering. We only get a small glimpse when things come under the hammer. And I was in the UK for a few years. I never had any money, but I used to keep watching the websites of these auction houses, so Sotheby's and a few others, and you would see these Indian statues come up for sale, Indian coins, Indian swords and all the armor, all that kind of stuff. And I used to think, maybe if I had the money, I would actually bid and take it back to India. But I think now with age, I have reached, I know certain things, and kind of have got a little bit of maturity about these things as well. So I don't really want to buy these things. I'm glad that the government of Maharashtra has taken the initiative and is bringing this back. The reason I won't go for these things is, on a personal level, all of these artifacts come with their associated vibrations, which can be good or bad for you, depending on who was the owner, how was it used, and if it's a murti, say, of a yakshini or any other gandharva or whatever, then obviously what energies are imbibed into that. So we don't know all of this. So it's better that this is put in a government collection where people can look at it. It's a priceless artifact, no doubt. And again, thank you to Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis for taking this initiative and bringing this back to India, or it's in the process of getting back. So friends, that's it for this episode of the trivia series. If you have liked this, please do comment, and thank you for watching, and please remember to share, subscribe and like the video, and I will see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye bye.